From behind the scenes revealed, Jungkook is suspected to have a big agenda that fans don't know. Lisa also commented, "A wave of curiosity has once again surrounded Jungkook after fans began discussing what they believe could be a much bigger agenda developing behind the scenes. What initially appeared to be ordinary moments, casual interactions, and scattered comments suddenly became the subject of intense speculation across online communities. The mystery became even more intriguing when Lisa's name was brought into the conversation, with fans questioning whether her alleged comment had any connection to the growing discussion surrounding Jungkook. However, it is important to emphasize that there is currently no confirmed evidence proving that Jungkook is secretly preparing a specific agenda, nor is there reliable confirmation that Lisa made a statement directly connected to such a plan. Much of the discussion appears to have grown from fan interpretations, online speculation, and attempts to connect separate moments into one larger story. Yet precisely because there are so many unanswered questions, the topic has continued to attract attention. The story began with fans revisiting behind-the-scenes moments involving Jungkook. Rather than focusing only on what was publicly presented, some fans started looking more closely at details that might previously have been overlooked. A facial expression, a brief reaction, a particular choice of words, or even a moment when Jungkook appeared unusually focused became material for discussion. For some fans, these details seemed too interesting to ignore. They began asking whether Jungkook might have been preparing something that had not yet been publicly revealed. The theory quickly developed into a larger question. Could there be an important project, appearance, collaboration, or personal career decision waiting behind the curtain? The lack of a clear answer only made the speculation stronger. Jungkook has already demonstrated that his career can move in unexpected directions. His activities have repeatedly attracted global attention, and even seemingly small appearances can generate enormous discussion among fans. Because of this history, some supporters believe it is possible that something significant could be developing quietly before an official announcement. But there is a major difference between possibility and confirmation. A mysterious moment does not automatically prove the existence of a secret plan. An unusual expression does not necessarily reveal hidden information. And a fan theory, no matter how convincing it may appear online, should not be treated as an established fact without credible evidence. Still, that has not stopped the internet from asking questions. The situation became even more dramatic when Lisa's name entered the discussion. Fans began examining whether comments attributed to Lisa could somehow relate to the speculation surrounding Jungkook. Some interpreted the alleged remarks as potentially meaningful, while others argued that the connection was being exaggerated by online communities. This is where the story becomes particularly complicated. When two major K-pop stars are mentioned in the same conversation, even the smallest interaction can quickly become a viral topic. Fans may analyze timing, wording, public appearances, or social media activity and attempt to discover a connection. Sometimes those connections are meaningful. Other times, they are simply coincidences that become larger through repeated discussion. In this case, there does not appear to be sufficient verified information to conclude that Lisa was confirming Jungkook's alleged agenda. Any claim suggesting that she directly revealed a secret plan should therefore be treated cautiously unless supported by an authentic interview, official statement, or reliable source. Yet the emotional reaction from fans has been undeniable. Some supporters are excited by the possibility that Jungkook could be preparing a major announcement. Others are more skeptical, arguing that fans should wait for official information rather than building expectations around incomplete clues. Meanwhile, social media continues to amplify the mystery because speculation naturally generates curiosity. The most fascinating part of the story may therefore not be what Jungkook is allegedly planning, but why fans are so determined to discover it. Jungkook's ability to surprise audiences has created an environment where almost every unexplained detail can become significant. When an artist has a global audience watching closely, silence itself can become a source of speculation. A simple decision to remain quiet can be interpreted as evidence that something larger is coming. That dynamic creates a powerful cycle. Someone notices a small detail. Another fan proposes a theory. More people begin discussing it. Social media posts transform the theory into a trending topic. Eventually, the original moment becomes surrounded by so many interpretations that separating fact from speculation becomes difficult. The alleged Lisa connection demonstrates exactly how quickly this can happen. If Lisa truly made a relevant comment, the original context would be extremely important. Was she discussing Jungkook directly? Was she responding to an unrelated topic? Was the statement actually authentic? Without those answers, drawing a definitive conclusion would be premature. And perhaps that is what makes the situation so intriguing. There is still a blank space in the story. Jungkook has not publicly confirmed that he has a secret agenda. Lisa has not been reliably established as someone who revealed such a plan. Yet fans continue to search for clues, hoping that one overlooked detail might eventually explain everything. For now, the most reasonable interpretation is that an interesting fan theory has developed around several moments and discussions, rather than a confirmed revelation from insiders. That distinction matters, especially when real people and their careers are involved. At the same time, speculation does not mean that nothing is happening behind the scenes. Artists frequently work on projects long before the public learns about them. Music, performances, collaborations, appearances, and other professional activities can remain confidential until the appropriate announcement is made. So could Jungkook have something major planned? It is certainly possible that future projects are being prepared, just as they are for many artists. But exactly what that project might be remains unknown. And what about Lisa? Unless a verified statement emerges showing that she directly commented on Jungkook's plans, the connection should remain in the category of fan speculation rather than established information. Perhaps the biggest surprise will come when the official announcement finally arrives. If Jungkook does reveal something unexpected, fans may look back at these discussions and wonder whether the clues were actually there all along, or whether they simply saw meaning in moments that were never intended to be mysterious. For now, the curtain remains closed. Behind it may be a major project, a carefully planned announcement, or simply the ordinary preparation that every global artist goes through before revealing their next move. The internet may already have its theories, but the final answer can only come from credible information and, ultimately, Jungkook himself. As the discussion continues to grow, another question has begun to emerge. If there really is something being prepared behind the scenes, why has almost nothing been revealed? For an artist operating under enormous global attention, secrecy can be extremely difficult. Every appearance is photographed, every statement can be analyzed, and even the smallest change in behavior can become a topic of conversation. That makes the idea of a completely hidden plan especially fascinating to fans. Some supporters believe the silence itself may be meaningful. They point to the possibility that Jungkook could be working on something that requires careful preparation before it is officially announced. Others believe the situation is much simpler and that fans are reading too deeply into ordinary moments. Both possibilities remain open. The growing speculation has also created a strange atmosphere around Jungkook's name. Instead of waiting for an announcement, parts of the online community have begun trying to predict what might happen next. Some theories involve music, while others imagine collaborations, major performances, international activities, or completely unexpected career moves. None of these theories should be considered confirmed. Yet the sheer variety of predictions demonstrates how much anticipation surrounds Jungkook. What makes the story particularly compelling is the contrast between public visibility and private preparation. Fans can see only what is officially released. The meetings, rehearsals, creative discussions, recording sessions, and decisions that happen away from cameras remain largely invisible. That gap between what the public knows and what may be happening privately creates endless possibilities. It also explains why behind-the-scenes content can become so powerful. A few seconds of footage can suddenly become the center of attention when fans believe they have discovered something that was previously overlooked. A gesture that seemed insignificant at the time can later be interpreted as a possible clue. But interpretation is not evidence. This distinction is becoming increasingly important as the discussion surrounding Jungkook and Lisa continues. Because both artists have enormous international fan bases, even an unverified connection can spread rapidly. Once a claim appears repeatedly across social media, people may begin assuming it must be true simply because they have seen it many times. That can create a dangerous cycle in which speculation becomes mistaken for information. There is also another possibility that deserves attention. Perhaps the real story is not a secret connection between the two artists at all. Perhaps their names were brought together simply because fans noticed similarities in their careers, popularity, or recent public attention. Both Jungkook and Lisa have experienced moments in which their individual activities generated enormous interest beyond their respective groups. Their careers have developed on a global scale, and that naturally invites comparisons. But comparisons are not confirmation of collaboration. Until an official source provides evidence, fans are left with questions rather than answers. And perhaps that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the story alive. Every day, without clarification, allows new theories to appear. One person interprets a moment one way, another person sees something completely different, and suddenly thousands of fans are debating what might happen next. The situation becomes even more dramatic when the phrase "insider" enters the conversation. Claims attributed to unnamed insiders can sound convincing because they create the impression that someone close to the situation knows information that the public does not. However, unnamed claims are difficult to verify. Without a clear source, original statement, or independent confirmation, such information should be treated as speculation. The word insider alone does not establish credibility. That does not mean every rumor is false. It simply means there is not enough information to know whether it is true. For Jungkook's fans, the most exciting possibility may therefore be the possibility of an official reveal. If a major project is genuinely being prepared, the announcement could immediately transform the conversation. What is currently based on theories could suddenly become a confirmed story. Until then, patience may be more valuable than speculation. Jungkook's next chapter will ultimately be defined not by anonymous claims or viral theories, but by what he officially chooses to release. And if history has taught fans anything, it is that major artists often have the ability to surprise audiences precisely when expectations seem highest. That leaves one final question hanging over the entire discussion. What if the biggest clue has not appeared yet? What if everything fans are discussing right now is only the beginning of a much larger announcement? There is no evidence to confirm that possibility, but there is also no way to predict exactly what the future holds. For now, the mystery remains unresolved, and the internet continues watching closely. Perhaps the next official update will answer everything, or perhaps it will create even more questions. Either way, one thing is clear. The conversation surrounding Jungkook's alleged plans has captured the imagination of fans around the world, while the mention of Lisa has added another layer of intrigue. Until reliable information emerges, however, the most responsible approach is to separate confirmed facts from theories and allow the artists themselves to reveal what comes next.